Welcome into a brand new episode of Tribal Council Chat. As always, we are your hosts. My name is Bruce Heller.
And my name's Brett Parnell.
And let's dive in. So we have we're a bit heavy on it this off season, but another character profile episode.
Yeah, I think it's only, the second one we did this season?
It's the second one, but there's already more planned.
Well, there'll be one next week and then one at the end of the summer, but...
Which totals 4 for the off season, so we're a little heavy on it.
That's okay.
We normally do like 2 in off season, I think. But they're fun to do, and there's like 500-something players, so...
And there's a lot of good players, but either way, let's get into the one that we are going to do this week. Da 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 da.
It's the Sonia Christopher episode.
No.
I know, I'm joking. It's Rick Devens week, guys.
It is Rick Devens week. Our friend Kyle's been talking a lot about Rick on Big Brother. And for the first week of that show that he's now on, over on BB Brains. So we thought we would do an episode of Rick Devens' Survivor career.
I saw this week that someone was talking to Julie Chen, and she is apparently not a fan of Rick Devens, by the way.
Interesting.
I don't know if you saw those quotes where she basically said he doesn't get the game.
I didn't see that, but that's fascinating because that means that Survivor and Big Brother are totally different shows.
Well, we knew that.
I know, but what I mean by that is if Jeff wasn't a fan of a Big Brother or a Challenger or any other show, they would have zero chance of ever getting on Survivor.
I mean...
The fact that Julie is not a Rick fan, but he's there, either tells you about Julie having less influence than Jeff, or more likely that Julie just doesn't care and knows what's good TV.
I think it's the first one, because I'll try to find the video and send it to you. But okay. She also said she wasn't thrilled when she heard there would be 2 Survivor people.
Oh, okay.
So if she's hearing this, or someone's telling it to her, that means she's not the showrunner and not in charge of casting. Because with Survivor, Probst is basically in charge of everything at this point.
Yeah, I was going to say.
I mean, I guess Mark Burnett could show up and be like, hey, I'm the OG, do this, but Probst calls all the shots.
Could he? Well, he's the deputy ambassador to the United Kingdom or something like that.
I forget he's part of the government, but,
yeah.
He's, I don't know, if he were to show up on Survivor, does he have any actual authority anymore?
I don't think so. I think he resigned and ceded it to Jeff.
Probst would listen to him, though.
Fair.
My favorite is, when Probst tells stories from the beginning and does an impression of Mark Burnett that makes me laugh.
Yes.
So...
Either way, let's get into Edge of Extinction and talking about the origins of Rick's Survivor career. And Devens comes into that boat that we all kind of see. I'm sure you remember this back to when Kelly and Lauren first met. And the players are on the boat, but there's clearly not enough players.
Yeah.
And what we quickly find out is that we're having 4 not new returnees, that doesn't make sense. 4 returning players come back into Edge of Extinction for the first time to play along with this cast. And even though the attention goes to Kelly and Lauren, because I think they build the relationship so quickly, Rick is another contestant here who quickly builds a friendship with a returning player and actually wants to see returning players in this season and not just wants to get rid of them.
Yeah.
And that's with David.
I will say, a funny Rick story I've heard a couple times from the reunion is, because Rick's a big character, but there's someone on this cast that could have gone, I don't remember if he went or not, could have gone in our, kooky characters episode.
Yeah.
And that is someone that, in the game and in real life refers to themselves as the Wardog.
Yes.
And this story, you probably know where I'm going, but the story from the marooning that I've heard a couple people tell is Probst is doing his Probst thing and like asking people their names, and Wardog says, "My name is the Wardog," and Devens, being Devens, just goes, "Oh well, this is awkward. My name is the Wardog also."
That was amazing.
And I don't think that made the edit, but that happened, and that's so funny to me.
That is hilarious. And that's a great point that you bring that up, Bruce, because that really shows us what Devens is going to bring us not only all season, but into 50 and into the Big Brother house.
I wish that would have been in the edit.
Yeah, same.
But that's just, it's very him to just, go lighthearted, go for the joke.
Yeah.
Like, we're seeing his personality immediately before we even, not seeing it because it wasn't on TV, but the people on the island are seeing his personality immediately before he ever makes it out there.
Absolutely. So Rick ends up starting the game on the Manu tribe. Obviously makes sense because I just indicated he built a friendship with David. That is both in a way good for Rick because it makes him have that relationship with David. It's also in a way bad because even when there's only two tribes, this is where we still get a disaster tribe.
Yeah.
What what to say? They were just basically run over from day one.
Uh-huh.
We do see, though, a good thing early for Rick's game. He does vote correctly, recognizes that Liam is the first target, who I know a lot of people in this audience and in the Survivor audience seem to like, who I think is probably the worst Survivor player of all time.
I won't say worst of all time, but I do have an answer for that. But Reem is so annoying. Why do people like her?
I don't know. Maybe that's an episode for another time, the 10 worst players of all time.
I mean, only one person has ever gotten themselves first booted twice.
Fair.
So if you're asking me who the worst player of all time is, I have a statistical backing to say it's Francesca.
You do, but either way, we can do that and talk about that topic another time.
Yeah.
Speaking of players that are just bad at Survivor, Reem goes to the edge and Keith quickly joins her. Rick votes correctly again, good for him.
Yeah.
That wasn't that hard. Then...
I forgot about Keith.
Yeah. Who raises the flag eventually and goes home and we never see him on the jury.
Him and Wendy both.
That's right.
Speaking of people that aren't good at playing Survivor, Wendy.
Yeah. We're gonna get to her. But, then, after 2 times of voting out very weak players that aren't helping their tribe at all, Rick votes correctly, but he goes another way and votes out somebody that ends up being a big player this season named Chris Underwood.
Yeah.
We will talk about the rivalry between the two of them much later.
True, we will.
And then, for a few weeks, Lauren and Kelly and Wardog are in one alliance. Rick and David are in another alliance, and Rick's off to edge of extinction.
Yep, unfortunately.
Unfortunately, though, but I'm sure for you it's fortunately because you probably wouldn't have wanted it to be Kelly Wentworth.
I agree, but losing Rick is still sad.
Yeah. Anything you want to add to the first few weeks? I don't think there's a ton till we get to the edge and notably back from the edge.
Not really, no.
Okay. So Devens is on edge of extinction where he continues to at least show us that he's good at reality television.
He does.
We see really within this Edge group, Aubrey quickly joins. They talk a lot about the blind side. Wendy joins, who's not great at Survivor. Chris and Devens are two players who were voted out together, but back to back, but will have healthy competition. And then Keith on the Edge wants to go home, and Liam on the Edge wants to scream about everybody else ruined my game. And not, I ruined my own game.
Reem's great at playing the victim.
Yeah.
She's got that skill down pat.
We should have another season with the Edge and vote out Liam first and Debbie second and see what happens.
Oh, watching one of them on my TV is enough, and I don't like that. Watching both of them would be... No. I'm just going to say no to that.
Fair enough.
Funny idea, though.
Yeah, it would be funny. But then, notably, we see some relationship building between Rick and Aubrey. We noticed that the two of them seem to be a step ahead of everyone else on the Edge in terms of knowledge of the game, which makes perfect sense. We've seen Rick play Fire in 50. We've seen him come back and go almost to the end. We've seen Aubrey go all the way to the end and in 32 and then win the game in her fourth try.
Yeah.
So they're at least both together playing and knowing. I think you're watching this going, if Rick or Aubrey get back in, they could still make a deep run.
Yeah.
And then in battle, we have Battle Back.
We do.
Let's get back in. It's the traditional first Edge Battle Back, completing different steps, balance puzzle, and then pulling the ball up the snake puzzle until it gets to the top. First one to get the ball to drop back in the game and has an idol.
Yeah.
So I guess it's a little different here because you get your half idol, and it's the way it works in the Edge of Extinction. You get your half idol, you give it to somebody. If you survive the vote, it becomes a full idol.
Yeah.
But what I wanted to talk to you about first, and I think this is probably one of the two biggest points of Rick's game. He gets back in, and it comes down to a debate amongst the new merge tribe. Let me get the name. I had this in my notes. Vata. Tribe names can be confusing, especially when they're all in Fijian now, so we...
Do they name the merge tribe themselves, or is the name given to them?
That's a good question. I'd have to go back and watch.
Because on older seasons, the castaways named their own merge tribe.
Yes, that's right.
Which had some funny ones.
It had some funny ones. It had some good ones. It had some horrible ones.
Gabon named theirs No Bag, which was Gabon backwards.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think what the Malcolm one. Oh, Malcolm's second season, I believe. Karamoan. It was Anil Edam, which is Madeline backwards, which is his mom's name, I think.
That's right. Philippines.
That was Karamoan, actually.
No, I think in Philippines they had a good one.
Oh.
Jonathan Penner named the tribe Dang Rain because it was pouring all the time.
I forgot about Micronesia is probably a famous one. Eric told everyone that Dabu means good in Micronesian, and it's literally just a word he made up.
Yeah. That was funny.
And now his Instagram name is Dabu Doodles. So
is it? I did not know that. That's hilarious.
Yeah. So I brought that up to say, if they still name their own merge tribes, they're not guaranteed to all be in Fijian.
No, that's true, but I'm not sure.
I'm
But
gonna get
either
on
way,
there and name a merge tribe Go Blues. All one word. Convince them it's Fijian for something like Eric did.
you just gotta find you and a Michigan fan to both be leading a tribe together, and it would work.
Or I could be the hockey version of Boston Rob and wear a Blues hat on
You
Survivor.
could.
I don't know that they'd let me because,
They wouldn't.
licensing, but
Because supposedly Survivor had, like in the newer seasons, had to get uh advertising with the Red Sox in order to let Rob keep doing it.
it'd be so cool to do that with my hockey team though.
Yeah, it would be.
But yeah. So I got us sidetracked. We were at Vata, I believe.
That's okay. We're at Vata. What I wanted to talk about is, what do you think of the whole, I guess you could call it debate, tribe decision, whatever, between Julie and Lauren here? If somebody comes back from the game, do you think that they should be on the chopping block?
I think they should be. I don't know that they have to guaranteed go home, but I'm not against it like some of these people were.
Which was so weird. Like, I was when I watched this for the first time, I was flashing back to Pearl Islands. And I remember, like, you see these people, Julie and who else was in that sort of a group, Aurora, saying, "Oh, whoever gets back in, we have to give them a chance. It wouldn't be fair if we just vote them out again." And it flashed me back to Andrew Savage giving a speech in Pearl Island saying, Skinny Ryan or Lil will never step one foot on this beach again.
And then
And then what happened?
Lil didn't step foot on. No, they did go back to
Yeah,
their
they
same
did.
tribes.
But they never voted with those tribes. They merged right away. They just had to stay there that night.
But she stepped foot on the beach.
She did. But I guess my point is that if they had to vote, the Morgan tribe made it very clear of, it's going to be whoever comes back into the game going home. And in contrast, and I almost wonder, do you think there might be, because I know at this point they are casting big fans of the show. Julie is a huge fan of the show. I don't know if you have seen her background in applying for this show.
No.
Julie was in final casting for Survivor Africa.
Whoa!
Yeah.
That's 35 seasons before this.
Yes. They picked, she said that on the last day, they picked a woman named Kelly Goldsmith over a much younger her.
I mean, fair.
Yeah, Kelly was a great player, but still, the fact that she's been in watching that long, she knows the old school game. I almost wonder when I see that, and I'm curious to know what you think. Could Julie have been thinking back to the Morgan tribe all wanted Lil out, and she outlasted all of them by clearly being unwelcomed when she walked back in the beach and right away jumping ship to vote with the Drakes.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So I think that I don't necessarily agree with Julie's position here. I think Lauren would have made the right call to say we should just send Rick home. We don't know what advantages were on the edge. Lauren was playing a very 38 game in 38. I think Julie could have been correctly assessing the situation, but playing a season 7, 8, 9 game in season 38.
Yeah. That's a good point. And so, yeah, voting him out here would have been the smart move, but thankfully for the television edit, that's not what happens.
Yeah.
We mentioned Rob, by the way. You look at Redemption Island, and as soon as Matt is the first returnee, he gets sent right back.
Yes.
Matt kind of does it to himself because he makes the mistake of going to Rob and be like, "Hey, I was going back and forth on whether to stick with you, but I decided I'm going to." And why you tell someone that you were thinking about betraying them, I don't know. And
Why
when
you
you
tell
watch that
someone
person
that?
play 3 seasons and know he's cutthroat, that's an even
I
stupider
was
decision.
just gonna say that.
I,
Um,
does Andrea get that treatment when she returns later in the season?
no.
Okay. Interesting.
So, going back to Rick's game, I guess after he survives the vote, he has his idol. The next biggest thing comes down to, I think, a vote that we've always talked about, and that's that Rick advances further in the game because of Wardog and the Wentworth vote.
Oh, War Dog. I get why he made that move. He made it a round or two too early.
Yeah,
He showed his power, like not power, but he showed how crafty he can be and made himself a target and lost Lauren.
yeah.
Walmart Tony. That's still what I call him.
That's hilarious. But yeah, you're completely right. He does make it too early, but we're talking about Rick in this episode, and that puts Devens in a perfect perspective, or a perfect position is the word I was looking for, because now, with Wardog and Lauren splitting and Kelly being out of the game, it gives Rick a spot where he can work with Aurora, with Ron, with Julie, and really take power because there's really no opposite alliance that used to be have the numbers.
Yeah, you're right.
So that leads Kelly goes, Wardog goes next because why do you need him anymore? He's just sunk himself. And then at this point, Ron Clark becomes the next to go. And I think it's when Ron goes that you start saying, wow, Devens has fought his way back into the game and he can win the game.
Yeah, who knew?
Because up until that point, I think most people were thinking that Ron was going to win the game.
Yeah, probably.
And then we also, in that same episode, get a really good family visit. I think it's people remember it with Lauren, they remember it with Ron, but we see that connection that Rick has with his family too here.
Yeah. That's a great point.
Which then after Ron goes, Aurora's next, and then we're into the finale. Any thoughts you want to start with from the finale? I guess I should add Underwood gets back in at this point, and we have that old Manu, old Lesu kind of head-to-head competition between Chris and Rick that's only starting to heat up once again.
Maybe the most iconic fire-making challenge?
Yes.
Not because of the fire challenge itself, but because of the decision made in it.
Yep.
This is the first time I think it's happened once since then. 44 it happened. Where the winner of final immunity puts their game on the line and puts themselves in fire.
That's true.
Heidi did it in 44 and I think set the record for quickest win in that, and it made no difference at all.
It made no difference.
But Chris Underwood had to do something. He knew he wasn't beating Rick in the end. So he puts himself in fire against Rick and takes out the biggest threat here.
Yeah.
Because at this point, and the fact that someone that got voted out was the biggest threat at the time sounds crazy. But it's Rick, who's found idols and played really flashy. And it's Gavin and Julie, who I don't remember much. They both kind of bored me, honestly.
Yeah.
And
And
there's
I think
Chris, who's a bit of a wild card. So if
and I
Chris,
think that's what makes this move so good to watch on TV is it's not just that Chris makes the huge move to put himself in fire and sit next to Devens, take him out and win the game, but it's that Chris makes this move after he followed it up by voting out Victoria, huge threat to win, and then getting Lauren to give her his give him her idol at that Victoria vote and then taking her next. Now what you've done if you're Chris is you've taken out the two huge threats to win the game that you're not sitting next to in fire. And
yeah.
then you go into fire against Devens, and it's may the best man win because you know whoever is coming out of this challenge is going from the edge to $1 million.
And what's funny to me is I've seen people say online, and I get this, it's not great having a winner that played a total of what, like 13 days in the game?
Yeah.
I think even if Devens had won, like we'd still have a winner that got voted out, but it'd be
Yep.
more satisfying than Chris.
Way more.
But I've seen people online be like, "Oh, Gavin
And
should
no,
have
no
won."
disrespect to Chris either. I think he's great on TV. I'm excited to watch him do the challenge this year.
He played great with the hand he was dealt, just not
Yeah.
a satisfying winner, and the only
That's
winner
right.
that got voted out.
Yeah.
But I've seen so many people online because Gavin got a few jury votes here. Be like, "Oh, Gavin should have won," and it just makes me laugh because like I like Gavin. He seems like a cool dude. Him winning
Yeah.
was never happening.
Yeah.
Whoever won that fire making was winning the season, in my
Agreed.
opinion.
And I probably would have voted for Gavin, but I 100% agree with you.
I don't know who I would have voted for in the final third we had. If Rick had won fire, I would have voted for Rick.
Yeah, agreed. Absolutely.
But yeah, Gavin winning was never happening, from my knowledge, guys. So Chris does win fire and does take out Rick. Rick finishes 4th place, but what an incredible season.
Yeah, absolutely.
We talked about this when we were predicting the episodes leading up to 50. The episode that I think Ron goes home in.
Yep.
Great theatrics by Rick, where he goes to play an advantage they gave him, and like Probst tells him it's fake, and he goes, "What? You just like plays up the victim of you just wanted to make me look dumb in front of my kids, huh?"
Yeah.
And like guilt trips him, then realizes, well, I knew they weren't trustworthy. Here's a real one, and he's thinking. The theatrics like that were a constant at Tribal with Rick, and that's part of why people love him. Aside from like gameplay, he's just entertaining, man.
Yeah, he is absolutely entertaining in all aspects of the game.
Yeah.
You want to start with 50?
Sure. We don't have as much this season.
I mean, we also just watched it, so.
He's aligned with Christian the whole time, and they have like this bromance duo type relationship.
They do.
That's his highlight this season, is him and Christian.
It's definitely his highlight this season. It leads up to something that I think was pretty fun to have the two of them decide in very Rick and Christian fashion to plant an idol in Tribal. Throw back to Adam.
Yeah. That was fantastic.
Just changing my notes to the 50 side. There is another big moment though that we get to.
Yeah.
Mr. Beast.
Right, the coin.
The
I
coin.
almost called it 50-50 coin. That's from Winners at War.
That's Michelle's coin, not Rick's coin. But it's still 50-50 because every coin in the world that you can flip is 50-50. If a coin had three sides, it wouldn't make any sense. It would define the laws of physics.
I mean, technically they do.
Fair.
The top and the bottom and the little short ring around the edges. That's
That
a
is
side, right?
That's something that you know who I'm going to say would say. That's something that you know who would say.
But there's also, like, with a rectangular prism, there's corners and edges, so they have all these sides. The outside of a coin doesn't have any corners, so that's all one side.
Fair enough.
So just to be a contrarian and to be a little bit annoying, I'm going to say that a coin does have three sides.
Okay. But, no, so Rick gets the Mr. Beast advantage. That's something that we got to remember. I'm curious to know. You're in this situation. Do you want to go and flip that?
No.
Neither do I. But if you're in Rick's position in the game, do you want to go flip the coin?
Duh. You're doomed if you don't.
That's it. He was in Devens' spot. I think it was brilliant for him to do so.
Yeah.
Because there was a huge payoff. And guess what? If he doesn't do it, he's going home anyway.
And he by volunteering, he puts the pressure on his opponents. Because none of them wanted him to do it, but none of them wanted to step up and volunteer either.
Exactly.
So that kind of puts a decision on them for sure. And none of them did volunteer.
Very true. So he ends up doing it. He gets an idol out of it. He gets Aubrey another $1 million.
Yeah.
Hopefully, Devens and his family are getting a nice Christmas gift from Aubrey last year.
Yeah, for sure. And so, that's hilarious. But Aubrey does win this season. She played fantastic.
Yep.
Rick's entertaining, but just doesn't have as much time in the game as he did his first season. Or wasn't as big of the edit as he was his first season.
Very true. Also, something I just saw that I wrote down this morning that I forgot. Kind of interesting. Rick and Dio now on Big Brother together. Rick was the On Fire co-host when Dee won the season.
Oh, true.
I just thought of that this morning.
And they played together on 50.
Yep.
That's fantastic.
Anything else before we go to a line blindside first boot?
Not on my end, no.
All right. Do you have three names or do you want me to go?
I have three pretty obscure names just because I want to see what you do.
Let's go.
My first one is less obscure for you because you've been around since the beginning. And I'm guessing this is a well-known name for some people, just not most people. May she rest in peace. You have the first ever elimination, Sonia Christopher.
Yeah.
Obscure, but not for you, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Like, one that if you would not recognize her name unless you were a fan of the show when it aired.
Well, I wasn't a fan of the show when it aired.
No, fair, but you're a super fan, not a normal fan.
Fair enough.
If you're just someone who casually turns on Survivor, no, that's an obscure name. If you're somebody who watched it in 2000 or who's big into rewatching Survivor, then you would know who she is. So that's a good one.
I'm going to 2 seasons later in Africa next. You get Jesse Camacho.
Okay.
Obscure name.
Yeah.
And next, I'm going to an underrated season that made my underrated seasons list, or might have been an honorable mention. I don't remember. We're going to South Pacific, and you get Semhar, who's an obscure name but has a memorable scene that's just crazy.
If you want to call that memorable, somehow is my first boot.
People remember it, is what I'm
Oh,
saying.
people remember it. It freaked me out.
She, for those that don't know I'm trying to think of how to describe this. Goes on like this monologue before like what is it? Is it a redemption
Somehow
arc?
is a artistic spoken word performer.
Yeah, is and like right before a challenge or duel or something, does this spoken word that involves her saying she loves a man so much she would give birth to his kids without painkillers, right in front of people,
Yeah.
and it made the edit. So obscure player, but memorable for one bat crap crazy reason.
Yes. I am going to first boot somehow. I'm going to. I just don't think that we would get along well. I'm going to blindside Sonya, who I think I would get along well with. May she rest in peace. But that would probably be very likable if she got to the end of the game. We see how, like, Sonya and Richard Hatch make a relationship within 2 hours of this game starting.
Yeah,
She
that
was
lasted.
a very good social player who just played at a time when if you weren't physically fit to stack up, you were done because nobody knew what the point of this game was yet.
Yeah,
And but I think Sonya could have a good final tribal if she was, let's say she stayed a few weeks and Rich got her into that Toggy 4 and it became a Toggy 5. Who
yeah.
knows? That's gonna lead me to align with Jesse. Even though she was a second boot, Jesse clearly could have helped keep your tribe strong. She was an Orlando, Florida police officer, so she clearly has the physical background to do this game. But from what I remember from Africa, and I have not, that's probably like my least seen season because it's the one season I did not watch when it actually happened. Well,
You
no,
love
two.
that
That one and
season though.
Marquesas. I do love that season. It's just I only watched it for the first time during the pandemic.
I think because I've said before, my mom watched the first couple seasons, then stopped for a while, then came back at some point, and she's
Yeah.
watched them all now. Like binged through them a few years ago. I think Africa's her favorite season. She loves Ethan. I think she stopped watching after Africa,
Mm.
which is
So
weird that like you stop after a season you love so much. I need to ask her about that now that I think about it. But
yeah, but that means that I am going to align with Jesse.
there you go. I have the same choices. Jesse just and these players are all kind of obscure enough. You don't see enough of them that like, I can't go full analysis the way I normally would.
Yeah.
Like you said, Jesse's a strong option. We'll work. I just personality wise, from what I remember, I think we'd work together well. I don't know that me and Semhar would mesh well, so she's gonna go first. And Sonya's just kind of left as the blind side.
Nice.
So
All right, for mine, I am going to not put Rick on this one because it was his episode, but I am going to give you three people that have worked as reporters.
okay,
One is obscure, two are totally not obscure, so that probably puts one person at a disadvantage, but hey, who cares?
yeah,
Your options are sports reporter out of Tennessee, Sam Phelan, not obscure name.
no,
Um, winner and talk show host out of Atlanta, Savannah Louie,
there you go.
not obscure. And crime reporter from Survivor Marquesas, Tammy Letner.
Interesting. I'm gonna first boot Savannah. She's the most dangerous. She's one. I really want to work with Sam. I might lose to him. I thought he put up a good enough fight at Final Tribal to make it close or at least win. The fact that that vote was a blowout shocked me.
Yeah.
That one was weird. I went into Final Tribal expecting a blowout, and then Sam put up a fight, and I thought, oh, he made this close. Maybe he won, and then it was still a blowout.
It was still a blowout. Yeah, I thought the same thing.
Maybe I lose to Sam, but we're going to click real well, so I'm going to align with him, and that leaves me to blindside Tammy.
Nice. Yeah, those are good picks. I think I would probably do the same.
There you go.
I am a big fan of Savannah, but yeah, there's no chance that you want her to play the game for very long.
Yeah.
Sam is definitely my align here.
Mm-hmm.
Even though I don't know how a Titans fan and a Colts fan would work in an alliance together. That might not be great.
Yeah. He's a Bears fan, I think.
Oh, is he? Then he just might have worked for the Titans.
He did work for the Titans. I don't know if he still does or not, but I think he roots for the Bears.
That makes sense. Well, 2 Indiana football teams. Sorry, Kevin.
Not yet, but that's going to be fun to tease him about.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, this was fun. Check out Pit Stop Pals. Check out Roundtable Talk. Last episode we recorded, Brett said New Generation Challengers would be back when they had a cast, and we have one.
We have a cast. I also have a co-host on vacation, so I'll talk to her about getting it set up when she's back from her trip.
That sounds fun.
Yeah.
Check out all the Reality Realm stuff. BB Brains is in full swing now.
Though I say I would like to be in Florida right now, and I'm jealous of her. Not like I'm not going to Florida in 6 weeks.
Yeah, you're always traveling, right?
Yeah.
It's coming up soon if you're not. So, with that being said, everyone grab your torches and head back to camp. Goodbye.
Good night.